The White House is moving to curb the vaping epidemic in America that's linked to at least 6 recent deaths now. A new initiative would ban most flavored e-cigarettes, allowing only tobacco flavor. The FDA says it could also cut down on those devices if the number of minors using them rises. The new guidelines are due to be rolled out in the next several weeks, and companies would have 30 days to comply.
Cases of possible vaping-related illnesses have been reported in at least 36 states, including Hawaii, Idaho, and Washington, which just reported their first cases this week. The CDC says it's looking into more than 450 possible cases overall. The National Youth Tobacco Survey says more than 3 million high school students used e-cigarettes last year in the United States. CBS News medical contributor Dr. David Agus is with us. Doctor, we declare public health emergencies, and in fact, the Trump administration did when it came to opioids. Sometimes hurricanes also get that treatment. Is it time with e-cigarettes to declare an emergency?
Well, that 3 million number you referenced at the White House yesterday, they say it's 5 million this year.
Wow.
And so, kids are getting nicotine and THC in their brain. That's still developing. And we don't know what it does. In order to get the nicotine or the THC from this e-cigarette into your lungs, it needs a carrier molecule. Yeah. So heat's applied, a carrier molecule goes in, and it stays in the lung, hence the lung disease and the potential deaths, the deaths that are happening around the country. We need to step up here because we don't know the implications.
How long before we will know?
Yeah.
It took us a long time to figure out what cigarettes would do.
A couple of decades where doctors are saying, hey, smoke Camels, it's good for you. Yeah. And a couple of decades, and then we say, hey, it caused lung cancer. We are experimenting on this generation. 5 million kids are being experimented on in schools today. We have to step up.
For companies to continue to sell flavored e-cigarettes, the Trump administration has said they would have to prove it's a net good for public health. Yeah. In other words, it helps adults more than it hurts kids. Do you think they can meet that threshold?
No, I don't think there's even closer. And I think these companies are smart. And they're going to keep pushing what they're pushing, tobacco-flavored and unflavored Juuls or other e-cigarettes as a vehicle, hopefully to prevent smoking. But the ramifications of this on a health basis, we just don't know. The way our country works is you put it out there, and then we see what it does over years, and then we make a decision, go backwards. Hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Yeah. Maybe the policy should be reversed.
Well, they've been around a long time now, the e-cigarettes. Why did it take the FDA so long to get authority over them? They've been on the market for at least 10 years.
Yeah, they came from, in the early 2000s, a pharmacist in China actually came up with the modern-day e-cigarette. They've been around for a long time. They weren't under the jurisdiction of the FDA until 2016. Mm-hmm. And then since they've been under their jurisdiction, the FDA hasn't yet stepped up aggressively in terms of regulating.
Why weren't they under FDA jurisdiction until 2016?
The Congress has to say what FDA regulates. So tobacco went under the FDA, and then years later, e-cigarettes did. But we don't know the outcome is the problem. So the company said, hey, listen, this is a vehicle to stop smoking. Stopping smoking is good in our country. We're seeing smoking rates go down. All of a sudden, vaping rates goes up. A year ago, I interviewed Ned Sharpless, who's now acting FDA commissioner, who's head of the National Cancer Institute. And I said, what keeps you up at night, being head of the National Cancer Institute? And he said 3 words: vaping, vaping, vaping.
Wow.
As a doctor, do you see any benefits at all to vaping?
We know right now that in the hour we've been doing this show.
Well, at all.
No, I don't know.
Is there any evidence?
For smokers, there's no evidence that it has lower lung cancer rates than smokers. There's no evidence that it has lower emphysema than smokers. There's evidence that it's a gateway for children to go to real tobacco products also. So no.
Dr. Agus, the American Cancer Society says that e-cigarettes are markedly less harmful than traditional cigarettes.
But that is not based on data. We don't have long-term data on e-cigarettes yet, so you can't make such a statement. You could say, maybe it is, we should do the studies. We just don't know the answer yet.
So to people, could be as bad as cigarettes?
I think they could be as bad as cigarettes, yes.
So there's no benefit to being weaned off cigarettes onto e-cigarettes?
Well, the benefit is to being weaned off to nothing. If e-cigarettes is a way to taper down your smoking, then maybe there's a positive there. But again, the maybe is there. We just don't know the answer. And so, listen, I'm data-driven. Most times we have technology that we think will do something in health, we turn out to be wrong. I hope it's not the case here, but there isn't data that I'm aware of that it is safer than tobacco in the long run.
Well, it's hard for me to tell how you feel. No!
Dr. David Agus, thank you.
Gayle, say what you believe.
Good to, listen,
We appreciate it.
I also agree with that.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Agus.